Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. The K-State Center for Sustainable Energy recently had their Spring Energy Symposium at the Kansas State Union April 8th through the 9th. Presentations were made by professionals and researchers in the industry. There was also a research poster session which produced an outstanding amount of quality posters and presentations. Stay tuned.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers. This segment is brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Renewable energy is a key objective in the minds of some Kansas State researchers. In fact, recently, the K-State Center for Sustainable Energy had its Energy Symposium April 8th through the 9th in the Kansas State Student Union to discuss new future ideas and initiatives that will help the industry. This event presented several new strategies for energy production in the United States.
So this is the 2015 Bioenergy Symposium hosted here at Kansas State University. The impetus for this activity, this is probably our 6th or 7th year that we've held an event like this one. And the impetus for the activity is to provide students at K-State, researchers, and the general public with an opportunity to see up-to-the-date, most current activities around the bioenergy spectrum. This year we're really fortunate. We've got economists, sociologists, and technology folks, both from industry and the federal government, presenting presentations. The other thing that I would say is sort of unique about this symposium is that it is completely organized and structured by a group of students working in this technical area. So it's an opportunity for them to take a leadership role and to get to meet the various speakers that we're hosting here today.
Along with several presentations made by Mary and other energy leaders, there was a research poster contest testing undergrads and grads on their expertise in the field. The research poster session produced an outstanding quality of posters and presentations, which made selection of poster awards all the more challenging. K-State has conducted research in the general area of bioenergy production for many years. K-State awards 150 doctorate degrees annually, and its funding base exceeds $200 million. In a typical year, its research program attracts $100 million in outside funding from such agencies as the National Science Foundation, USDA, and other public organizations.
So today and tomorrow we have 6 speakers from academic institutions, national labs, and industry partners that are visiting K-State and presenting 45-minute presentations on the future of energy policy, looking at bioenergy opportunities and the impact of bioenergy on communities and the consumer public. And so we've got those activities. We've also got about 40 graduate and undergraduate students who are presenting posters about research that relates to these topics, and those posters will have a formal poster presentation this afternoon, and those posters will be judged, and then awards for the best presentations will be given tomorrow afternoon. So we'll wrap up around noon.
The Energy Symposium is focused around sustainable energy and renewable energy production availability. Renewable energy is generally defined as energy that comes from resources which are naturally replenished on human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, and geothermal heat.
We've had it for about 8 years in the spring, so it's been an annual symposium, and we anticipate it'll continue into the future. The precise topic is actually defined by the organizing committee, which is a group of PhD students. So the topics vary a little bit. They all relate to energy. They all relate to sustainable use of energy. They've focused, evolved a little bit. This year's presentations have a little more focus on the availability of natural gas and oil because of fracking technologies and how that has impacted the rest of the energy spectrum. Next year's topic, we'll see what the hot new items are for next year, but it's going to relate to sustainable energy production and availability.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Tallgrass Commodities offers producers bulk commodities at a reasonable price with reliable service throughout the whole Midwest. To find out more about Tallgrass Commodities, visit tallgrass.us or call 785-494-8484.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. The K-State Center for Sustainable Energy recently had its Energy Symposium April 8th through the 9th and the Kansas State Student Union. This event presented several new strategies for energy production in the United States and abroad. People like Dr. Flora show us the impact of community action in renewable energy.
I'm going to talk about how communities that basically are the sources of the feedstuff for particularly biofuels or wind farms or even solar, how they are impacted and how they organize to set up these new industries, new strategies toward community development. What has been most interesting to me is we've looked at a number of these projects across particularly the Midwest, but also the Northwest, is that it really matters is this an investment and a strategy that comes from people within the community, or does it come from the outside? And when it's done by people within the community, what you see are sort of keep building on. You start one innovative project and then you go to another and another. So you have a town like Nevada, Iowa, where you started out with an ethanol plant, locally funded. Then now you have a cellulosic plant. You also have wind energy. You also have solar power. So you see these building on each other with local investment and local enthusiasm. Well, we are blessed, as you are here in Kansas, of having a very exciting Biofuels Institute that is working very hard not only on biofuels, but also the byproducts. What can you do with everything that comes out of that processing? So you produce the feedstocks, getting those genetics right, getting the agronomy right, then how do you process it, and then what comes from it, and then how can you market those various byproducts?
Flora believes that renewable energy will grow across the country and that Kansas will become a more energy-conscious environment in the near future. Carbon-based fuel is any fuel whose energy derives principally from the oxidation or burning of carbon. From an economic policy perspective, an important distinction between biofuels and fossil fuels is that the former is sustainable and renewable. Whereas we can continue to obtain energy from biofuels and identify, in principle, the Earth's reserve of fossil fuels was determined millions of years ago and therefore fixed as our foreseeable future is concerned.
First of all, there's a growing realization worldwide that carbon-based economies are very destructive. Currently in Iowa, we have a lot of people organized fighting a Bakken pipeline where they're trying to take this relatively dirty fracked oil from North Dakota right across the middle of Kansas under 2 rivers and under people's productive farmland. And that is unsafe. It has huge environmental consequences and huge social consequences. So we see people saying, we're not sure we want to risk our total environment for oil, for non-renewable resources. Then the second thing that's happening is, particularly as the last speaker pointed out, the issues of biodiesel there is a huge demand for that, particularly for aircraft and trucks. So I think we're going to see more and more emphasis on biodiesel if we can find markets for the byproducts of that biodiesel, which we often can with animal feed.
Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more.
Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Buying a car shouldn't be this hard. And at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego, it isn't. It's actually awesome. Whether you want a new or used car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. Even if you want to custom order a new car or truck, Toby's team can make the deal. See Toby's team at Brown Chevrolet Buick in Wamego. We're awesome.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new VetGun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The VetGun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML VetCap is used with the VetGun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. VetGun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
When your living depends on agriculture, you can depend on KFRM 550 AM. If you're in the southwest three-fourths of Kansas or the northern half of Oklahoma, catch us at 550 AM on the radio dial. But if that isn't you, listen on your cell phone at TuneIn Radio or on your computer at KFRM.com. We promise to keep you informed, entertained, and company as you go through your day. KFRM 550 AM, the voice of the plains. We would like to join your management team.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory, or NREL, is located in Golden, Colorado. It is the United States' primary laboratory for renewable energy and energy efficiency research and development. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory is a government-owned, contractor-operated facility and is funded through the United States Department of Energy. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory has a number of PV research capabilities, including research and development testing and deployment. The laboratory's campus houses several facilities dedicated to PV research. A representative from the laboratory came to speak at the annual Energy Symposium at the Kansas State Student Union, where he discussed future ideas and initiatives that could help with the industry.
Really what I did is I kind of gave a situation of transportation fuels in the country as it exists now, the reason why oil prices have plummeted, what that entails for biofuels in the near term as well as the long term, and then presented some really interesting possibilities of biofuels as a possible enabler for higher efficiency cars, both to meet the CAFE standards for the next 10 years and beyond.
The Corporate Average Fuel Economy, or CAFE standards, are regulations in the United States. They were first enacted by the U.S. Congress in 1975 in the wake of the Arab oil embargo and were intended to improve the average fuel economy of cars and light trucks produced for sale in the United States. At the National Bioenergy Center, or NBC, which is part of NREL, or the National Renewable Energy Laboratory, work on several ongoing projects to analyze possible solutions to the world's energy crisis.
So as we all know, oil prices and transportation fuels have changed dramatically in the United States, North America, and the world in the last 2 to 3 years. And probably, to ascertain, to kind of synopsize where we stand now, the best thing is probably to look where we were about 10 years ago. So in the 2005-2006 time frame, there was a lot of national concern that the overwhelming majority of our oil use for transportation was imported. Oil prices were dramatically rising, as high as $140 a barrel. Implications on recessions, and so there was a real national push at that time, both from private sector as well as government, to develop and deploy biofuels to address that concern. And then that's where we really were until about 2 years ago. And then with the fracking, the horizontal drilling, the tight oil, whatever terminology you want to use, the U.S. Production of crude oil domestically has risen dramatically. And so now, to the point that crude oil being a commodity market and priced on the supply and demand, crude oil prices have dropped dramatically, less than half of what they were just a year ago. So we can all see that in the pump. Obviously, gasoline prices are half of what they were. So where biofuels really has to compete on a dollar per gallon basis, it really has changed the market for biofuels. Also, not only has it changed it from a price perspective, it changed it from a national perspective. There's just not the sense of urgency. So I discussed that, what that means for the biofuels industry in the next couple of years. And then probably being a research organization lead like I am, from a research perspective really, and then talking to K-State for students that will most likely go into that field, what that really means for them. And really where we see the future, where a lot of see, is there could be a value added, there could be a market pull. And so I discussed one exciting possibility around higher efficiency engines, and really focused on that.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Pope. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
From the Land of Kansas is a trademark program that helps Kansas businesses grow, produce, process, or manufacture Kansas products. Many farmers markets statewide are from the Land of Kansas members. They are on the front line delivering fresh produce, homemade delicacies, and unique handmade items. Today, let's catch up with the Emporia Farmers Market. From May to October, this market is available outside, located in the parking lot at 7th and Merchant. From November to April, it moves indoors to the Emporia Humanitarian Center at 215 West 6th Avenue. The mission of the Emporia Farmers Market is to enhance community health via locally grown, fresh agricultural and related products and information. A 30-year-old organization, the Emporia Farmers Market is a project of the Learning Connection of the Flint Hills. All vendors must grow, bake, or make the products they sell themselves. To find out more, visit www.emporiafarmersmarket.org.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Healthy cows start with the new hired hand automatic livestock sprayer. Rancher invented to provide an efficient alternative to pour-on and injectable parasite management systems. The portable design allows cattle to treat themselves head to hoof. Strategic device placement with pass-through activation technology takes the stress out of parasite treatment for cattle and the rancher. Get the new hired hand for yourself or become a distributor. Visit cowsprayer.com. The new hired hand makes healthy cows easy.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor on AGam in Kansas. I'm your host, Conrad Kabus. Renewable energy is the key objective in the minds of some Kansas State researchers. In fact, recently, the Kansas State Center for Sustainable Energy had its Energy Symposium April 8th through the 9th in the Kansas State Student Union to discuss future ideas and initiatives that can help the industry. This event presented several new strategies for energy production in the United States, including one from Dr. Thomas Faust, who is the National Bioenergy Center Director. He discussed topics like energy outputs, oil prices, and the Renewable Fuel Standard.
Okay, the Renewable Fuel Standard, or the Renewable Fuel Standard 2, that's currently in effect in the United States, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. Like I mentioned in my previous comment, that was really put in place in late last decade, 2007 to be precise, really based on a perceived urgency at that time to deploy biofuels, especially second-generation biofuels, cellulosic biofuels, urgently. And then, again, like I mentioned in my previous comment, now with the all this oil becoming available, a lot of debate about whether it should be changed, whether it should be repealed, whether it should be strengthened to move away from corn grain ethanol, which is predominant biofuel in the United States, to cellulosic, what the volume obligation should be from the EPA. So really, I guess it's fair to say that there's a lot of uncertainty about the RFS2 as it currently stands. So really, I discussed that, and then, like I mentioned, then really possible scenarios for how that can be changed or kept in force for the next 10 years, and what the possible best options for the American public or the consumer publics would be for.
Hydraulic fracturing, or fracking, is the process of drilling and injecting fluid into the ground at high pressure in order to fracture shale rocks to release natural gas inside, with more than 500,000 active natural gas wells in the United States. Increases in seismic activity following the hydraulic fracturing, along with dormant or previously unknown faults, are sometimes caused by the deep injection disposal of hydraulic fracturing flowback, a byproduct of fractured wells. For this reason, hydraulic fracturing is under international scrutiny, restricted in some countries and banned altogether in others.
I think the concerns about fracking, as we all know, are about groundwater and what the implications that have, the toxic chemicals that are used in fracking and what the implications of that would be. And then there's the other controversial that's arising is the increase in earthquakes and seismic activity. And as we crack up these geologic, rock formations, what that has, is it just a short-term kind of a never mind, or is it fairly something significant that we're doing that will have long-term ramifications? And as a non-expert, I guess my opinion would be, I think like anything else, any man activity that's practiced at the large scale can have some significant negative ramifications, and we really need sound science to really determine what the true implications are. And right now it seems to be based more on emotion and radicalism on both sides versus sound science.
Thank you for watching today's program about renewable energy at Kansas State. For more of Farm Factor, or if you want to view this program again, visit us on www.agaminkansas.com, or you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter. So have a good day with good luck.
Closed captioning brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff Progress, powered by Kansas farmers.